These are the 3 to 5 things that I've learned about working with millionaire clients, and I put millionaires on a pedestal, okay? If you're a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're an intuitive entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about, because when we don't have the thing, when we don't have the millionaire status, we put it on a pedestal and we're like, how did they get that thing? When we don't have the bodies that we want or whatever the thing, right? We pedestalize everything. It's like part of our human nature. Every single one of us does it. And we have these fangirl moments. Now, I've worked with millionaire clients, 2 in specific that I'm going to be talking about in this video, because they were very different energies to each other. One was a feminine, one was a masculine, and the energies around what they had built were so very different. And the way in which they had built it from, the way that they were operating from was very different. And also it de-pedestalized everything to do with millionaires for me. And so I want to be sharing that in this video. So if you are sitting there pedestalizing millionaires, thinking about like millionaire status as this thing, I want to just break that shit down for you right now. And also just give you a few paradigm shifts around the stuff that I was stuck on for years, thinking that I had to be a millionaire myself first before I could ever work with a millionaire. Like that was such a big game changer for me of like, oh my God, I don't need to be a millionaire to work with millionaires. Like I just have wisdom that's embodied in a space that they don't have that fucking skill or embodied wisdom, and they're going to pay me a fuck ton of money, right? So this is the mindset shift that I need you to have of millionaires are looking for high value investment choices. So if you are a high value being, they're going to invest in you because you've got something that they need, right? That's literally how business works across the board. It does not matter. So don't pedestalize millionaires. That's like the first thing that I want to talk about, right? So that's point number 1. We've already jumped into it without me even saying point number 1. The second thing that I have learned after working with millionaire clients is you have multiple different ways of becoming a millionaire. You have multiple different ways of growing your business as a millionaire. So there's no one template that fits all. There's no one framework. There's no one blueprint. There's no one ingredient. There are layers of multiple different things. And these are the things that I teach in Cash Flow, which is starting October 1st. The link is in the description box. If those of you who want to come join. But this is literally the thing. We have multiple ingredients, but the core ingredient amongst all of it is discipline. And the core thing that the pair of these 2 people had, these 2 individuals, they weren't the smartest. Like they weren't the most embodied either in like what they were teaching. One of the millionaire clients, she was actually a bit of a fraud, and I brought this up to her because my thing is truth. That's one of my gifts, is she was selling something that even she wasn't willing to do herself. She wasn't willing to use it in her business because she knew it was shit, and she was still marketing it out. She was still selling it out, and I was just like, that's fraud. You don't believe in the offer that you're putting out into the world, and yet you're charging and you're expecting women to come in. And then you've got all these fucking problems because you're willing to like, you're just turning a blind eye to it. And you're just like, and I was like, straight up, if I told you right now to use your own product in your business, would you do it? She was like, no, of course not. And I was like, baffled. I was just like, what the F is going on here? There's so much shit to clear out. I was like, you are not authentic because you're not authentic in what you are selling. You're not authentically going to be using it yourself. So why the fuck would people believe and buy from you? And this is the energy shift as well that I'm sensing across the board. What used to work for clients in their business, what used to work for millionaires as well. There are millionaires who are literally in this same boat of what used to once come into their business easily is now not as easy, right? Because people are more aware of their buying decisions. Whereas before we were in the age of Pisces, and I was bring it back to astrology because this is my shit, this is my jam. When we were in the age of Pisces, Pisces is like the fish. It wants to be part of a school. Fishes all swim together. You barely see a fish that's not part of their collective school of fish, right? Versus Aquarius, that's how the collective energy was influenced by that behavior. And so even in buying decisions, we all went along with, oh, this is a trending thing, so everyone's hopping on it. This is the thing that we're being told, so we're just going to blindly believe it and just flow with it. Versus the energy now that is impacting us, and those of us who are jumping on this in-between zone where we still haven't fully left behind this Age of Pisces era yet, depending on when you're watching this video. I'm filming this in 2025. If you see it after 2027, then we are now fully in this Age of Aquarius, which Aquarius is very much independent thinker. It's an air sign. It's a very different energy to emotional water sign Pisces, because that was a mutable sign as well, right? The element itself was quite mutable. It's very flexible, flowy. It just goes with the flow. Just does without thinking. Aquarius is a fixed fucking sign. It's a fixated energy. It's a stubborn ass energy and it's a very intellectual energy, which means people are now going to be reflecting deeper. They're going to be pondering deeper. They're going to be asking the right questions before they make investments. So yes, it might be a bit more of a patience game, whereas before people would just chuck money and throw money left, right, and center. People are now more aware of like, how does the energy feel? Oh, is this feeling aligned? And then choosing to invest, right? There's a bit more of like a consciousness shift where people are thinking more than ever. They've been burned before as well. There are so many coaches in the industry who are just like, just buy this. And people have bought without clearly thinking about what they're doing. And then it's actually wasted their money or they haven't seen results. And this is why. So again, even the most successful people, they have to be embodied in what they're sharing because people can feel that energy is being felt more deeply than ever right now. So this is one of the other cool things of like this millionaire that I was working with. She was not being authentic, and it used to work for her in the past. Like marketing that was not that authentic used to work. Now she was seeing this drop in like her sales and everything was going down, and she was just like, why? And I was like, well, number one, you're not being authentic. Anyway, back to the point of the 3 to 5 things that I learned from these millionaires is that they don't always have a fucking clue what they're doing. They really don't. These are both of the millionaires that I worked with, right? The guy as well, he was clueless as to like the energies of the world, what's shifting. He was noticing a few patterns and things like that. But again, they're just pivoting along the way, just figuring out what works and double downing on the things that do work, and then pivoting and evolving and growing and staying disciplined on the things that they know work. And this is the key part where I come in of, we have to know when it's time to pivot. We have to know when it's time to change. And this is the thing that I help a lot of my clients with, is knowing and recognizing, yes, when it's time to just keep doing the things that work, and then when to spot something has shifted, the energy has tweaked and shifted, and you need to also start shifting. Because if you don't, then what happens is you tend to go on a downward spiral. Like this is what happens to companies who go into administration because the times are changing. And everything around that business is changing, but they refuse to budge. They go, no, this worked for us for years, so we're just going to stay stuck here. And it's usually the older generation that tend to be like, no, stuck in their ways. And it's like, your people, your clients, your customers are all evolving around you. And if you don't change yourself to market to that same change and to that same shift, you're going to be left the fuck behind. So it's really important to fucking get on the journey of change, right? And this is, again, where millionaires also tend to get stuck. Moving me to point number 3 of sometimes they know what works so well for them in the past that they fear changing and moving into the next step that is calling to their next level, right? They can move from millionaire to billionaire, but because they're so used to being in that small pond of being a millionaire, outside of that, they don't know how to now grow. They feel the discomfort, they feel the changes, but they don't know what to do with it. And it's like they're like a lost puppy sometimes. So again, they are going through the same problems over and over and over again. It's just a different level of problem. And this is a key thing that took it down a pedestal from me, because I was just like, oh my God, even the millionaires have the same fucking problems that we have. Like, we're entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter whether you've just started making money in business, whether you're in like 50K months, whether you're on 5K months, whether you're earning millions. We all have the same fucking problems. It's just different levels. Okay. And this is so important and fascinating, because if you have a gift and you want to bring it to the online space and you're like, but people won't buy. And I'm just like, people will buy whatever fucking niche you're in if it markets to the problem and the level at which problem they're facing. That's literally what entrepreneurship is. That's you. When I share spiritual business and spiritual entrepreneurship, is literally you covering a problem for someone who is going through the same fucking problem at that level at which they require it, and you positioning and messaging it in that way that attracts them to you. Like bees to honey, and your energy will speak for yourselves. Like, I don't have to sell anything sometimes. I will literally just be sharing my shit, and then someone will message me and someone will be like, oh, do you want to come do this? And like, we'll pay you. And it's just like, oh my God. And this happens over and over and over again. This is not just like a one-time thing. The most recent one is my curly hair journey, where I was just getting a curly haircut, and I got booked in by the director of the company because she was just listening to me about what I do in my business. And she was like, you're so incredible. Like, can you just come in for an evening for a team event? And I'm just doing it now. So again, your energy speaks for itself. So again, are you doing your energy work? Like, the most important thing as well that I shared with these millionaires is like 2 of them. This was the fourth thing about my millionaire work, is they have a routine that they truly focus on in terms of like their success and their goals, right? All of them have the discipline to show up consistently, even when they don't feel like it. The one thing that they do, even if, like, say, for example, the millionaire, the feminine that I worked with, she was suffering. She had miscarriages because she wasn't looking after her body. She was literally so burnt out, because I told you she built her business on hustle, that she didn't even recognize how much she was burning herself out. And this is where the alignment piece comes in, which is why I'm teaching intuitive business, not just hustle business and strategy business based on masculine clocks. Like, that doesn't work for us. Like, our feminine fucking bodies need to rest the fuck out. And if I'm able to make money by resting in my bed and taking 2 or 3 naps a day, yes, 3 naps a day sometimes, and sometimes it's just one long 2.5-hour nap, then so can you. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. But again, it's a choice. Like some people will literally choose to be in that stress and hustle and survival because they feel like that's the only way to fucking make money. And I'm like, well, that's your choice. You made a fucking choice. You made your bed and you want to choose to sit in it. That's on you. But the people who come to work with me, they want ease. They want flow. They want to get out of that burnout. They don't want conceiving problems. They don't want all this stress. Like you can build money from a place of stress and a lack or survival mode, and you can build money from a space of abundance and joy and peace. That's, again, a choice that we all get to make, right? And this is the millionaire client that I worked with. This is point number 4. That millionaire client chose to build from a space of relaxation, but he still needs help in terms of, oh, clients aren't coming in. What am I doing wrong? Let's tweak, let's experiment. And he'll just keep maneuvering in that space. And again, for masculine and feminine, this looks very different. Like we all have to do the things. We have to master our emotions as part of this journey, because again, these 2 millionaires, what they do, if you want success or some level of success in your business journey, you have to get above and move yourself beyond your emotions, because our emotions will literally tell us, oh no, I don't feel like doing it today. And then you don't show up. And then that one day becomes 2 days, it becomes a week, it becomes a month. And then you've done like 6 months without showing up online. And then you're like, where's my money at? Where's my clients at? This is the thing, right? The millionaires will always show up, but where I come in is literally guiding them into showing up for themselves first and foremost, and not leaving that behind. No matter how big they get, no matter how much they scale, their body is their wealth. Your health is your wealth. And so health comes first, top priority, and then all the other shit, and learning better strategies of managing your stress and coping with the problems at that level, right? And again, choosing different choices, shifting perspectives, like that's the thing, that's my juice. That's what I love, because you never have to be stuck, right? We just need a little bit of a perspective shift, and then your whole world and your whole reality starts to change. So my final point on the things that I've learned by working with millionaires is they are no different to us. It really is that simple. They are no different to us. The only difference that they are making in compared to us or like any entrepreneur is they're setting higher goals for themselves, and they're just disciplining themselves to another level. It's no different to an athlete and you just having a normal gym goal. You can still have amazing bodies. You're just going for different goals at a higher degree, higher level, which means more input from your body, from your physical body, right? It doesn't mean that you don't have the same problems. It doesn't mean you might still be doing the same things, like going to the fucking gym every day, making sure your diet's clean, training all the things. Like the person who's training for the Olympics might just be on that other level, a couple of steps up, and like increasing that notch a bit. That's literally the only difference. Outside of that, the problems, the injuries, the way that they feel, their mindset, all of that is similar. We just have to learn to manage it and tweak it and work with it. So I hope this helped shift and alchemize and transform and like get rid of any pedestalizing, that if you're doing that with the millionaire stuff, like just to let you know that you actually have permission to do anything you fucking want to do, and you can manifest anything, like any type of client that you want to work with. And it doesn't get to be hard or whatever the block is in your mind, right? Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next video. Mwah.